Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Yes. Breaker, breaker. Hey, Alex, can you hear me? Test 1, 2, 3, 4. I take that as yes.
There you go. How about now? You hear me okay? Okay, no, can you hear me okay on your end?
We can. Although it looked like the video froze for a second. That might be back. Or maybe we're getting spotty internet here.
Okay. No, it might have. I was surprised because there I am already on the big screen. I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting things set up. We'll be ready here in just a minute.
Oh.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm hearing you.
All right, greetings, everybody. I got 7:32, so if everybody can come over and have a seat, we'll get started. I like having everybody sit down so I can make you stand up and say the pledge. Yep. That's right. Once everybody comes up front and has a seat, we'll get everybody to stand back up to say the pledge. All right. Well, everybody's coming toward the front. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to May 2023's Orlando Amateur Radio Club meeting. We're going to get started, and now that pretty much everybody's had a seat, stand up, let's say the pledge. Everybody has to have their exercise. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everybody. So usually we try to go through introductions. Sometimes we have new faces here, but might not know who everybody is. My name is John Knott. I am N4JTK. I am the club president. Michael Cawley, W4 ORL, is the vice president, and Hamcation general chairman. Anna is in the back of the room here. She's our treasurer. And Bob is up front here. W4 KBW is our secretary. You moved places on me there. Dean is in the back. He's also one of our directors. James is right here behind, kind of on the side of everybody, is one of our directors. Ed Thralls, one of our directors over here. Frank Gerkitz, I think he's actually working Wednesday nights now. Frank is not here. Bob Cumming, W2BZY. Most of you guys probably know who Bob is. And Frank Tagalani is on his honeymoon. Yeah. He's in Alaska. Actually in Canada right now, I think. Vancouver. I'm getting ready to go on the boat. So anyways, should be really a fun one. Do we have any new members tonight? Anybody signed up? Den, want to just get up and stand up for a second? Just introduce yourself. Microphone. There we go. Live mic.
KT3S, Dan Ardinger, and I've been around ham radio 60 and a half years. So I got my license in 62. Back then, you could hold your novice license and your technician license at the same time. If you were on CW, you used your novice call sign. Oh, and if you were on the higher bands on 6 meters or 2 meters, you used your technician call sign. So that shows you how old I am. I'm happy to be here.
All right, we got a backup mic just in case. Welcome, Den. Appreciate you being here. All right, test session. Bob, do we have anybody that passed the test tonight?
We had three new three licensees tonight. One brand new tech, one upgrade to general, and one upgrade to extra tonight.
New ham? New ham in the audience? Or new member? Another new member? Oh, don't see any hands. All right. So coming up at the end of June is this other little tiny event that ham radio operators like to participate in called Field Day. So Field Day 2023 will be teaming up again with Lamar's, Lake Monroe Amateur Radio Society. And we'll be out at Central Winds Park in Winter Springs. It is June the 24th and 25th. All right. It's the last weekend of June. Please put it on your calendars. Please try to keep it open. Not only do we need people to help set up, we also need people to help operate radios. Here shortly, we're going to send out a link that you will be able to sign up. A shift of normally 2 hours is what we've done in the past. I think it is 2-hour shifts around the clock. For each station, there's going to be 4 stations, 20-meter station, 40-meter station, a CW station, and a blind guides, two CW stations, blind guide CW station. Okay, and satellites, and that's like that fun part of the band and stuff. But I don't think that one actually counts as a station, right? So does it? The satellites, no, I didn't think so. So we have 4A station, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but we are gonna need help with, obviously setting up and tearing down, but operating the radios also. So, please, even if you can come out for 2 hours, one part of the weekend, you know, we do need people to help with overnight. So if you're a night owl, you like to stay up all night, we have a job for you. If you like to stay up during the day, we have a job for you there too. Okay. But please keep that on your calendar. We'll get more information out. It's still in the planning process. Of course, the big question is food. Yes, there will be food available. All those details will be coming out sometime soon, one way or the other. Okay. Coming up on May 11th, which is not tomorrow night, but next Thursday night. Orange County Areas, I put this out before. Orange County Areas is having a online Zoom meeting only this month. And our guest speaker is Bobby Graves who is the net manager of the Hurricane Watch Net. He's going to discuss what a Hurricane Watch Net is, what it does, and how they need help also. Okay. We are inviting anybody that's an amateur radio operator or anybody that's interested in the Hurricane Watch Net or find out more information about it to join the Zoom session. It doesn't cost anything, and you don't have to be a member of Orange County Areas to do it. All right. We're opening it up to everybody because I think it might have an interest for a lot of people out there, especially since in less than 30 days, hurricane season starts. Okay. So, if you have time on that Thursday night, it starts at 7 o'clock, and roughly till 9 o'clock will be the length of the meeting, plus questions and answers and stuff like that. I sent out the link on email a couple of times, but if you have not seen it for some reason, please send me an email so I can send you the link back. You have to go on and register it, and the only reason we're doing that is just to keep a head count because I might have to increase the Zoom meeting amount that can attend it for one night. I just want to make sure everybody wants to attend it can attend it. Okay. So you register for that, you'll get the actual link then for the meeting, and you can join us. But it should be a pretty good. This has been about a year and a half, 2 years in the making of getting Bobby to do this, and it's supposed to be because scheduling between our schedule, his schedule, and some personal issues that he had about a year ago with a family member. So finally getting around to it. So it should be a good night. Also put in the newsletter, had several people request do like a Saturday morning in the park. Pick a park somewhere, set up some amateur radio equipment, operate HF for a couple hours, get people interested in HF, get people outside their house for a while. But I'm looking for 1 or 2 people to help coordinate this. All you need to do is basically help gather the information, find a park that we can do it at. The club will be more than happy to supply anything that needs to be supplied, preferably if it's free, obviously. But if it requires a liability insurance coverage, we can do that. We can get a certificate of liability insurance to cover the event. We'll start off doing it one time, see what the response is. There's a pretty good response. We plan another event and periodically do them. It doesn't have to be every month. It might be every other month. It depends on what everybody's schedule is. But if you're interested in help participate and help getting that going, please let me know because we'd like to get this going sometime soon. We've had several inquiries about it. So if you're one of the ones that inquired, please step up to the plate, help coordinate it. Yes, sir. I'm sorry? Like a prototype thing, but like a local park. It's not a state park, not a US park or anything, just a local county park, city park. Just something to get everybody out, get them out of the house, get them on the air and stuff, and have some fun on a radio for a little while. So, but yeah, basically like a prototype event. All right. So how many of you guys in here are an ARRL member? Rick, take note. All right. One of the things that we ask everybody every year when you fill out your application for OARC, and we try to make sure we have all our records up to date, is one of the things is, are you an ARRL member? Okay. A very small percentage says you are. More here tonight than I even said that on the forms. But that information is valuable to us because it allows us information from the ARRL. Plus it gives us some benefits and stuff. But if you are an ARRL member, you probably got an email recently about a member survey. Okay. So I'm not going to here to discuss the topic of the survey other than the fact that it's about a possible membership dues increase. I'm not here to persuade you which way to vote on this survey. My only response to you right now is if you got that email, that link, and you're a member, fill it out. Fill it out in the best possible answers you can give them. Okay. It's important information. It could maybe end up being a increase in dues. We don't know. Okay. But if they don't hear from us, they don't know what we're thinking, what we're wishing for. You may be for it. You may be against it. Doesn't matter. Tell them. Okay. Tell them what you think. All right. And that's what they want to know. Yes, sir. It was sent out to all ARL members and it was also put in the QST and it went live. The link went live May 1st. I don't remember. I think it might be good for all months, but I know there's a deadline. But the sooner you get it done, the better. Okay. If you did not get the email or the link and you are an ARL member, you can sit there and contact ARRL. They'll be more happy to send it to you again. You can also contact your section manager or your Southeast Division manager, and they can give it to you too. Well, you should have an account, but more importantly, you should have an email address on file with them and a current email address. If you change your email address and didn't let ARRL know, then probably went to the old address, which bounced and who knows where it went to. Well, there's a link there. I looked today and I didn't see that link, but good. Good. So please, you have to log into it for 1 month. Okay. So you got time, but it's just important that they hear from you. What it is that you are thinking about or express your opinions about their questions. Okay. All right. How many of you guys are going to Hamvention? Small group. Okay. We will be in booths 4209 and 4210 and the Volta room or Volta building or building 4, if you will. If you are there, come by and say hello. Okay. Can't miss us. We'd be kind of close to the prize barrel. So if you are going there and putting your prize ticket in the barrel, you're right around the corner from us. So come by and say hello. But we wouldn't mind seeing everybody. With that, let me go to Michael. Michael, you want to update about picnic?
All right, just an update on the picnic real quick. We did extend the deadline until this coming Friday. So if you have not sent an email to picnic@oarc.org and you are coming, please send an email. And this is open to your spouses and you, and even if you have children, you can bring them with you. So please, if you haven't done it, please go to picnic@oarc.org and send an email. Let us know you're coming. We will have some great prizes to give out. I'm figuring right now we'll probably have 40 to 50 prizes. So yeah, and 95% of it is stuff donated by vendors of Hamcation. So which is good. So please, if you haven't did that, we'll have hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, potato salad, veggie burgers, all kind of stuff.
Chips, baked
Chips,
beans.
desserts, food.
And again, the reason why we want to know the number or the people are coming is just so we have enough food. We don't want to sit there and have 50 burgers and 100 people show up. So if you send us
Just
email,
send
we
it,
got it.
get it. So yeah, I'm not responding back to everybody. Just if you sent one, I've got it. Just next thing, donation checks are in. Some of them I'm going to hand out tonight. Some of them I'm mailing. Some of them I'm going to go to club meetings to give out. First one was actually Maritime Mobile Net. I was gonna give it to you to give to Jeff.
Barry. It's that time of the
Thank
year.
you. Is George here? George? George. This one has to be rewritten. It needs to be rewritten.
Oh,
Don't
for
it
the
need to be in
total?
your name,
Uh,
George? Don't it need to be in your name? Yep.
The,
She'll rewrite it and give it to you.
Michael, the total payout was 12.
Huh?
Total payout was 12. Total payout was 12.
Money wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little over 12.
A little over 12,000.
Let's see, they're not there. Bahia. You want yours now or in a month? Yeah. All right, there's cert for, no. Other cert. There's that cert. For Christie and them, their cert. Mike. The other cert. Similar County Areas. UCWA.
Little hand goes up.
Paul Colton isn't here, is he? I don't remember seeing him.
I don't see him here tonight.
Okay. Frank ain't here and Lamar's. I'll give it, I might be there tomorrow. I don't know yet. But if I am, I'll kind of present it then. If not, you can give it to him.
We'll bring the big check.
And that is it for now. And I still have another 20 plus to mail out plus these. So again, thank you everybody for their hours. This is what your hours go toward, is the donations to these organizations. And don't forget about next year.
Congratulations, everybody. All right. And that's one of the biggest things about Hamcation is giving back to the community. Amateur radio community and other nonprofits. All right, let me go around to Anna. Did you have anything?
And if the names are on the check, Sienna.
Dean, did you have anything? No? Bob?
HRO catalog. New HRO, whoop. New HRO catalog is out and they're on the table over there with Rick.
All right. Bob? Ed? Nope. James? Nothing? Okay. I didn't know if you had anything else. All right, let me go around to the club updates real quick. After that, we'll take our break, and our presenter is Alex Van Patten, who's patiently standing by. Be doing our presentation on contesting for the absolute beginner. Okay, so first club updates, QCWA. After which is Lamar's. Formaline.
Hey, I'm Rich, WR4RW. Lamar's QCWA, my memory. QCWA meets this next Thursday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. It's on 434. It's by HRO, and we meet at the Perkins restaurant there. The meeting gets underway at 1, but everybody gets there around 12:15. Everybody's invited, whether you're QCWA or or 15 years old. Doesn't matter. We'd love to see you there. Same goes for our net. It's an 8-year-old.
Or 9-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Grayson, 9.
you add them too, and they're still good. Yes, everybody's invited. Everybody. We love to see everybody there. And the meetings are just pretty much social events with a nice briefing on something. So we have a net on Tuesday night. It's an on-the-air meeting, but all are invited as well. Our mentor, Al, W2AS, used to say that, and we mean that. So 147, 195. It's Tuesday night, and it's after the SVTN. If you're not from Seminole County, it starts at 7:30. And again, come join us. It's just a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Lamar's is next. After Lamar's, either one of the CERT organizations have any updates? You want to start making your way to the front?
Okay, very good. Hi, my name's Jim Robar, KB2COX. I'm Vice President at Lamar's. Tomorrow night's program, and this is at the Civic Center on Edgemont in Winter Springs. Dave Morris, AA4XZ, will give a program on sending traffic radiograms. And in the near future, hopefully we can get this group involved also in a fox hunt. We've done them this past year or so with Lamar's. We haven't. Wow. That hurts. Anyway, we do hope to do a fox hunt. I'll make sure that I get with Michael and John far enough ahead of time that everybody knows about it. If you've never done a fox hunt, they are an absolute blast. I've done them for years. They are a lot of fun. So we find out and it doesn't have to be the best operators. Sometimes it's the most patient people. But anyway, that's all that I have for tonight.
And the tone is a hearing test. If you heard it, you passed.
I did.
We'll stand over here out of this blast zone from the speakers. Orlando CERT ham radio group. We usually have a net every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. You have to be a resident of the city of Orlando, because what we do is we call ourselves the eyes and ears for the city. So during a natural disaster like a hurricane event, we'll man the ham radio station in the Orlando ZOC. People radio in conditions around their neighborhoods and report it to the EOC. We will be having our first, in the Orlando EOC meeting on the 16th at 7 o'clock. And for those who are part of it and want to be a part of it, great opportunity to get to know them, and hope to see you there.
Excellent. All right. Clark Cert, did you have anything? No? Okay. CFRA.
I'm listening over here too, where it's blasting away here. Good evening, I'm Bob W4KBW, President of the Central Florida Repeater Association. It's a small group, about 20 members. We have a meeting the last Wednesday of each month at Perkins at the corner of Forsyth and University. Get there about 6 o'clock, have a little rag chew, a little meal, 7 o'clock, a small meeting. Dues are $12 per year. If your husband and wife both hams, it's $18 for the both. Repeater is downtown Orlando around Colonial I-4, and it's 443075 standard PL. It's analog and fusion. And before I go, I'm going to apologize. I thought I had more cups than I do over there, so be very careful when you drink coffee. That's all I've got in the way of cups.
All right. Radio scouting.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ken, KN4MDJ. We just had an event this last Saturday. As y'all know with the weather reports, it was scheduled to be doom and gloom. So from our 500 people, we had 168 show up. Several of them did a fox hunt, and they're all happy. We have some news. We're working on a permanent facility. So hopefully next month we'll announce that being completed. And we've finished getting Northwest Louisiana radio scouting set up. That's another 3,000 kids underneath our umbrella. So right now we represent 40,000 scouts, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be at 100,000 in 8 locations.
Wow. Congratulations. All right. Shriners. guys have anything for update? Yeah, Rodney? Got it?
I'm Rod. I'm with the Bahia Amateur Radio Unit at the Shriners. And we'll have our tailgate first Saturday in November. So just mark your calendar. We'll fill you in on the details later. And we welcome you all and we thank you for your past support.
Thank you, sir. All right, sorry, forgot who was next. Florida Week Signal. Anybody from Florida Week Signal? George might be busy. We'll come back to him in just a second. How about AMSAT, Deers, or Lara? Florida Week Signal. George, you have something you want to report out or you got anything? You were busy talking at the time. Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna compete with the picnic a little bit. I think we set up for the meeting at my house before the picnic, so whatever weight that carries. But anyway, if you're interested in microwaves, we hate to compete with a picnic, but we are going to have barbecued pork and beef, beans, and coleslaw.
Going to his
If-
house.
If that's an incentive. Yes, we do have door prizes. It's mostly what people bring that they don't want in their garage anymore. We are going to have a presentation. It is microwave related. It is wideband feed for dish antennas is one area, and then QRP for 1296 and tower mounted 1296. So those are the two topics we're going to have there. And we'll have great fun, I'm sure. The beacons, we still have good representation. The 3 gig still up in the air because the FCC took the part of the spectrum that the old 3 gig was on. 2 gig is not up, but we've got everything else covered. 222, 432, 222, 1296, 902, and 5 gigs, 10 gigs, and 24 gigs. So we still have good representation. Any of you that want to check out on microwaves, this is a local set of beacons. You can pick them up almost anywhere in the whole state. So there's always somebody to listen to. May not be an operator because there are very few of us, but you will have a beacon to keep you comforted in the middle of the night.
Sounds like a bingo card. All right, Seminole County Aries. Come on down.
Hey, good evening. My name is John, November 8, Julian Oscar Kilo. I am the Secretary of Seminole Aries. And I've got the best news. They were alluding to food at field day. I can guarantee that if you are the night owl, you spend the night there, put in the hours, in the morning, we will be serving breakfast. So you will have food to eat, but that's for the night owls only. If you show up at 8 a.m. and go, yeah, I was here all night long, you better look tired. We are going to be having ICS training. We're kind of hammering that out at our meetings. Our meetings are the 3rd Thursday of every month at the Sheriff's Department, 100 Esslinger Way in Sanford at 7:30. Everyone is encouraged and welcome to attend. Along with that, encouraged and welcome to attend, we have nets Monday night on 147.090 plus 600 with a 103.5 tone. So that's what we have for Seminole Aries. If you're there all night long for a field day and you're hungry in the morning, we'll take care of you.
Talk food, people listen. Very quickly. All right. Moving on. Osceola Aries. Anybody from Osceola? Buck, come on up. Buck.
Hi, Jeremy, AQ4 AFY. Osceola Aries just announced this at our last meeting this month, earlier this month, that they're going to be having the Osceola County Hurricane Before the Storm at the Kissimmee Civic Center on the 20th from 10 to 1 in the afternoon.
Cool. All right, last but not least, Orange County areas, but I think you already heard what I told you about the meeting this month. It's gonna be virtual, Zoom, and Hurricane WatchNet. All right, before we go to break, I just want to remind everybody, make sure you got your little ticket for the drawings, door prizes. We have a few more of these HF digital books to give away. Okay. We have a few Yezu hats to give away. I'm sorry. We have 2 Yezu hats. I'm sorry. And 2 LDG electronics hats. And then the last of the 2 years ago kits. Okay. So great little projects. Everybody wants to have fun, but those are the last of those kits. And then I think we have some from this year that we have to give out yet. So might even have those at the picnic. And the last reminder before we go to break, make sure you see Rick in the back. A lot of you guys have your membership ID cards back there to pick up, or name tags. If you order name tags in the past couple months, you probably have them back there. If you just recently ordered name tags, they will be in probably sometime after Hamvention. So please go back there and take a look. And most importantly, make sure we have an updated email address for you guys. Double check what he has on file. He can look it up real quick for you. Sometimes you guys change emails, but don't let us know and you don't get the newsletters and stuff. All right, we'll come back here, say 8:15-ish in about 10 minutes, and we'll get started with the presentation. All right, guys, we're gonna get ready to get started. Hey, Robbie. Robbie. I'm just gonna introduce you real quick. All right, if everybody wants to start making it back to their seats so we get started. We'll have to do a hearing test. I've known you. If I can have everybody's attention, please. Attention, please make it back to your seats. This aircraft is about ready to take off. All right, guys, it's time. It's time to get back to your seats. I also want to introduce one more new club member. Kind of special club member. He traveled a long ways to get here. All right, this is for short, Robbie Goswami. Am I saying it right? Actually, Robbie and I have known each other 13 years, roughly. We were worked together in another organization. Robbie is an amateur radio operator from Trinidad. Came up here. Yeah, actually, he's up here for a meeting this week. So he's in Orlando for a meeting this week. I just want to real quick so you can introduce. I'll let him say his call signs because I don't remember them.
Thank you very much, John, and a very good evening to everyone. It's certainly a pleasure to be here. So my name is Robbie Goswami is my surname. My call sign back home in Trinidad and Tobago is 9 Yankee 4 Romeo, 9Y4R. My US call is NZ4RG, November 4 Romeo Golf. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's not my first time to Florida, but John kindly invited me to attend today's meeting, and it just sort of worked out. So I look forward to meeting a couple of you guys, and again, look forward to meeting you probably as often as I get up here. So I bring greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. Warm greetings. All the best. Thank you.
He has been to Hamcation at least 3 times. So hopefully his schedule will allow him to come back maybe next year. Hopefully he gets a meeting during that time period. Thank you, Robbie. Good to see you again. All right, Ed, you ready? I think everybody knows Ed, right?
Hi. This evening, our guest speaker, as John mentioned, is Alex Van Patten. And he was first licensed in 2018 and quickly found endless facets of the hobby to explore. With his main interest being chasing DX, contesting seemed to be a great way to get those rare entities into the log. He can also be found working FM and linear satellites and sometimes escapes from the basement to set up portable operations and parks on the air. And tonight's presentation will be contesting for the absolute beginner. Thank you very much, Alex, for being willing to share your knowledge with us, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. Real quick, Ed, before that's what I wanted to see. I was curious how many folks were in the audience. I'm really glad to see that. I appreciate all of you coming out tonight to hear me speak. I'm glad I was asked to do this. So yes, first of all, I assume you can hear me okay? Any thumbs up? Perfect. Thank you very much from the front row. So yes, this is contesting for the absolute beginner. If you have never contested, don't even know what it is, this is for you. And hopefully by the end here, you'll have a decent grasp on what it is and how you can get involved as early as this weekend. In the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, scrolling by every so many seconds, is a list of QSO parties or little contests that are happening this weekend coming up. And there's actually quite a slew of them. The 7th call area, every single 7th district state has their QSO party this weekend. I believe Delaware as well, and all the states in New England. I was really excited to find out when your QSO party was. However, it was last weekend, so you have a whole year now to prepare to participate, either how either as a club or individually for your state's QSO party. So a little bit about me here. Ed did a great introduction. I do appreciate that. There's a picture of me at field day last year with my club, the Red Rose Repeater Association. You can see on my desk there, I have all the necessities, got my laptop or my rig. I have a fan because it's stinking hot. I have a can full of DEET spray because the bugs are atrocious. Citronella candle there. I guarantee there's a bottle of Mountain Dew somewhere as well. And I am good to go. I was doing some CW there on my overly expensive CW key. I was licensed in 2018 at the bottom of the solar cycle, which means I'm super impressed by everything because things were kind of crummy back then. They're getting super awesome now. I do love chasing DX. That's my main thing. The farther away, the better. However, I'll take anybody. Doesn't matter. I'll have you know, I did place number 960th in the 2021 CQ Worldwide Sideband Contest. So obviously I know what I'm doing, right? And of course, I, like everyone else, is 2006's Time Magazine Person of the Year. Go ahead and look that up. It's great for a resume. But more importantly, my primary gear that I use when doing any of this contesting is I have a Yaesu 991A running 100 watts into a Cobra ultralight antenna about 25 feet up. It runs north and south. The dipole faces east and west. I feel it's important to mention my gear because I'm not anybody special. I don't have a gigantic station. I'm running barefoot 100 watts out of this radio. You can buy one at HRO, hook it up this evening, and it's the same setup that I'm running. So in my opinion, this is very attainable by everybody. So some myths right away about contesting to get out of the way here so we all can sit kind of comfortably. Here's a gigantic antenna array. This is my backyard. No, it's not. I wish it was, though. There's a whole bunch of antennas here, but you do not need a beefy antenna to do any kind of contesting at all. Like I said, my dipole is only 25 feet up. That's pretty low by most standards, and still I have excellent results with it. Here's a chunky amp that I don't have. I would like to, but you don't need one at all. And you can certainly use these. And if you think about it, it's like boxing or wrestling. You're going to be competing within your own weight class. So if you're just 100 watts, we'll get into that. You're called low power, actually. So you're competing against or being compared to other people with low power as well. So don't worry about not being a big gun. In fact, I'm not an expert. I'm only a little pistol station. Like I said, I run 100 watts in a low dipole. I just want to make contacts. That's my goal here. And here's a bit of a priority important piece here. You are free to make contacts during a contest without having to submit a log of your own. If the logging aspect of this intimidates you, don't worry. You technically do not have to submit a log yourself. However, you do need to play by the contest rules. And that is out of respect for those that you are contacting that are submitting a log. If you play by the rules and do things like you're supposed to and don't submit a log, the vast majority of contests give the benefit of the doubt to you and then to the person you contacted to still give them points. And we'll get into that a little bit too. So if logging kind of seems a bit out of your wheelhouse, that's okay. You can still make contests, just play by the rules. So what is a contest? We need to know what we're dealing with here. This is my own made up definition, but I think it sounds pretty solid. A radio contest is an event where operators try to make contacts or QSOs with certain objectives within a defined time frame. All require some sort of exchange of information. So you need to have the contact, exchange some sort of info, and you move on. So there's many different examples of that. We talked about state QSO parties. Every state except for Alaska, as far as I know, has their own QSO party. Some do overlap on the same weekends. As you saw here, this coming weekend, there's about 10, 12 different states that are doing theirs. There are sprints. Sprints are contests that may take place every week, and they're only about an hour or two apiece. In fact, there's a big one that goes on every single Wednesday for CW. It's going on right after this meeting. I guarantee you, if you turn on the CW portion of 40 meters, it'll be lit up every Wednesday night. There are VHF, UHF only contests that does include 6 meters. So for technicians that may not have all the flexibility that they would like just yet, there are a decent number of UHF, VHF contests available for you. Sometimes the exchange of information might just be your DX, I'm sorry, a DX country, maybe your ITU zone, your CQ zone. If you don't know your zone numbers, that's quite fine. You can find them on your QRZ page under the, I think it's the details tab. A lot of the contests will do all 3 kind of modes: sideband, CW, and digital. Some do only 2 of them. Some might do 1 of them. But there's certainly, it's quite possible to find all 3 flavors in one contest if there's a mode or 2 that you prefer over others. There's really no rag chewing in contests. If you're someone who likes to chit chat, which is just fine, this might be a different kind of flavor for you. I personally am not much of a rag chewer. I'm uncomfortable with it. I don't know what to say. I've heard the analogy that ham radio is a hobby where you use your hobby to talk about your hobby. And to me, that I can only get so far with that without feeling awkward. And the QSOs are very short and sweet. You give your call sign, the exchange, and you're done. And I do have an example further along in this presentation. So we know what the contest is. Why should we even bother with it? Why is this something to be interested in? It's where the QSOs are. I guarantee you the bands are not dead. There's plenty of activity out there. Now, I made this presentation early last year. Since then, we've seen quite the spike in solar activity. I mean, I can turn on the radio on 10 meters and it's packed end to end with DX. So this might not be as relevant, but it certainly is where the QSOs are. There's really not that much general CQing going on. People don't call a lot of CQ stateside anymore. I shouldn't say anymore. It feels like I've only been here for forever, but what I've noticed in my few years being licensed is not many people are calling CQ, at least from the state side. And I have a theory why, and we'll talk about it. Maybe you can operate on the weekends only. Maybe you work a long week. You have time to operate on the weekends. I don't want you to turn on the radio and hear someone calling CQ contest and go, "Oh shucks, it's contest weekend. I can't do anything." You certainly can if you'd like to. And I feel that this weekend should be as viable as any other to you to utilize your free time if that's how you choose to spend it. You can become the DX. You can become the focus of people wanting to contact you. And we'll talk about why that's important too. Maybe you need a state or 2 for worked all states. What better way to get that state than to operate their QSO party? I remember I needed a contact in Hawaii really bad, and I didn't have any. I waited for the Hawaii QSO party. I had 10 in the log within an hour. So that's one way you can certainly do it. Remember, Alaska, I don't think has one, so that might be a little bit trickier. Maybe you need some more DX for your DXCC award. Certainly live DX out there in many of the contests. So I mentioned to you the bands are not dead. Here's a picture of someone's 991A. It's not mine. This is 3 minutes before a contest is ending. It's one of the major ones. I don't remember which one exactly, but this is the CW portion of 40 meters. I can see here on this waterfall about maybe 50 different QSOs happening. It's a lot, right? So it's only 3 minutes before the contest ends. So here's 4 minutes later. Here's 1 minute after the contest ends. The bands are dead. So what happened? Did the sun turn off? No, people just stopped operating, which is quite fine. So don't let anybody tell you the bands are dead. This was, by the way, I believe, a screenshot from 2019. So we're still kind of at the bottom of the cycle. And, we saw here a ton of QSOs here, and then nothing right after the contest is over. So there's lots of activity on the bands. Why else do we do this? Well, there are rare DX entities that may be in play. Rich old people like to go to these DXpeditions. I would someday love to be rich and old at the same time. And they travel to faraway places and set up shop just for the weekend to operate the contest. That means that you can then go ahead and chase them. Since less people are participating in the contest, there's often less of a pileup to deal with. And I have an example here of how that worked out in my favor. Anything you can do, at least in my situation, being only 100 watts with a low dipole, I want to use every single bit I can ethically to get ahead and get that contact. So if that means operating when less people are, I think that's a perfect fit. Oh, here's a picture. This is from one of the contests last year. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one. This is actually, I believe, 15 meters. And I was scrolling or spinning the dial, and I heard a station 3 Bravo 8 mic call CQ contest. And I can tell you from experience, any station beginning with a number is probably rare, and I don't have it in my log. Just the way it works. So I threw my call out, and he got me right away. We made the exchange and I moved on. I can guarantee you, if this was during the week, there'd be a pileup. He'd be working the split. No one could hear me, and it would be a disaster. But since this guy here from Marshall Island was in the contest, I grabbed him and moved on. So that's awesome. I hope you can have the same kind of results. On a side note, it's very common for DXpeditions like this that go out for contests to test their gear out a day or two in advance of the contest. That means you can certainly pop on a Wednesday, Thursday night. You'll probably hear them working. You can make the contact. Of course, it won't count for QSO points for the contest. You'll have to contact them again, but you can certainly have them in your log. And it is very, very common. It's the exception if you don't, but it's very common for them to upload their logs to Logbook of the World and everything, both before and during the contest, or I guess after the contest. Why else should we do it? Well, unique digital modes might be popular for someone who likes to experiment with digital modes. They have contests for just these modes. Feldhell or Hellschreiber has their own contest. I believe it's almost weekly or monthly. Some last a weekend, some last a couple hours, and you can certainly operate some Feldhell. It's hard to find it otherwise. Like, it's not much in the wild. Also, there's PSK 63. I'm sure you've heard of PSK 31. There's the faster mode 63. There's a contest just for that. Here's a block showing an example of some Feldhell. I will tell you, the folks that do the Feldhell are super friendly. My first time doing it was during one of their contests, and I thought I had it all set up right because I do FT8 sometimes, and I wasn't getting anybody back. And finally, one guy was trying to respond to my CQ contest, and he said, "Let's on the screen here." He said, "Send me an email. Something's wrong." So I went to his QRZ page, sent the guy an email. He said, "Hey, listen, here's what you're doing wrong. You guys set your signal link up like this, do this." And he had me back up and running in about half an hour. And he was super easy to work with and very happy to make the contact. So very friendly bunch of people doing the Feldhell stuff. Also, this is to hone your operating skills. So compete against yourself. Don't worry about the big gun stations. Don't worry about the big contesting clubs. What you should do is set the bar 1 year, get a good score, and then maybe next year try to improve on that. And there's ways you can improve. Maybe learn a new mode. Maybe you're a sideband only person. For CW, all you need to learn for a contest is your own call sign, and then whatever the exchange is. It could be your state, your 2-letter abbreviation. It could be a number, and that's it. You don't have to learn how to send the call of the station that you're contacting if you're responding to someone's CQ. So this could be a good way to get involved in CW. In fact, there is a slow speed CW contest. I believe it's monthly, where the maximum is only 20 words a minute. You can't go any faster. And I've seen people going super duper slow, which is fine. Keep in mind, 1 word a minute will make the QSO. It'll be slow, but it's okay. Maybe put up a different antenna. Perhaps you have 20 meters only. 15 meters is great for contesting. Maybe you put up an antenna for 15 meters, or a fan dipole for 20, 15, 10. Of course, more time in the chair will yield more points, but we have better things to do on the weekend. Time with the family, you got errands to run. But I guess in the end, yes, more time in the chair will certainly give you more points. Here's from the bottom up a progression of a contest I did, the IARU HF contest. You can see at the bottom, my first year, I got 462 whopping points. The next year, I increased it tenfold. And then after that, I got it up to 23,000. You can tell it's kind of small on your screen there. I can kind of see the projector. Between this first time I did this and the second time, I decided to go to mixed mode. I learned a little bit of CW, enough to be dangerous, and I was able to score a whole bunch of points then. So that's kind of the way you can improve on your own score like that from year to year. I did mention I scored number 960th in the world in the 2021 Worldwide DX contest. How awesome is that? But you can see here, if you break it down, I was number 251 in North America. That's fine. I was number 9 in my third call area. So out of all the threes that were in the single operator, that's just one person, low power, which is 100 watts or less, down to 5 watts. And I did all bands I could get my hands on. I scored number 9. I did go ahead and check to make sure there wasn't 10 people participating. There was a little bit more than that. So I wasn't last, but it was nice to see a decent number. And then maybe next year I can try to get a higher number. I did mention that you can become the DX. You can become someone's faraway station to contact and the focus. This is I'm not trying to paint a bleak picture for U.S. amateurs, but U.S. amateurs are the most uninteresting because there's so many of us. There are 764,000 U.S. amateurs as of this afternoon when I checked the SEC website. That's a lot. Down in Florida, there's 43,000 of them. It's a lot of you guys down there. We have 28,000 up here in Pennsylvania. For comparison, there's about 8,000 in the country of Slovenia. So maybe might be able to see why Slovenia is a more interesting country to contact than the US, right? So if you guys ever gone to Club Log, they have a most wanted list that they update monthly of the most wanted or desirable DX entities for people to contact. So there's 340 total in the world right now. Some get added, some get removed, but there's 340. So here's the bottom 5 or 6, right? Here's 335. There's Spain, followed by France, European Russia, sorry, Germany, Italy. Can you guess who's number 340? Oh, yep, it's us, the US. So there's just a lot of us. We're everywhere. For comparison, Slovenia is only number 329 out of 340. They have 8,000 people there. So anything we can do to become the focus can be a little bit more interesting and a little bit more fun. And some contests want exactly that. So several contests encourage stations around the globe to contact us here in the US, even specifically in Florida. That would be the QSO party. So state QSO parties, the focus is on you. The ARRL has an international DX contest. They do 2 flavors 2 times a year, sideband and CW. And the focus is for other people from other countries to contact you. You can see here, this is a chunk of the rules. They want, I'm sorry, check it really quick. Gotcha. Countries outside the US are encouraged to contact every state, the District of Columbia, and all the territories up in Canada. And if you look at this here, it says that people in the US, that'd be you and me, can only contact DX entities. We can't contact each other. So that focus is great that those people want to contact you. So we know what a contest is. We kind of know a little bit about it. How do we find out where they are and what's going on? So the best way to do it is to go to the contest calendar. Contestcalendar.com has all the info you need on it. It's updated incredibly frequently and is the default place to find this info. So if you head to it, click on the 8-day calendar, and you're going to see a big grid that pops up, and it shows you the day of the week. And then the blue bar there is kind of it's a representation of the span of how long the contest goes for. The longer it is, those are all weekend ones. You can kind of tell they're clumped together there. This is for the upcoming week, and it has all the state QSO parties that are up there listed on there as well. So that's when you kind of know. When you click on each individual one of those contests, it brings you to a page that talks about that contest. So here's one. This is for the Maryland QSO party. This is late last year, but it tells you all about it. There is a link to the rules, but this will get you going at least. So what you want to look for when you try to find a contest is, first off, what's the focus of it? Am I able to participate? This one says participation worldwide. Well, I'm a part of that, so that's all me. What modes do they do? CW, phone, and digital. Great, I can do a few of those. And then what bands are they on? It says here 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, 6.2, and 70 centimeters. Well, I can do a few of those. So great, this looks like one I can participate in. Then there's some other details. Who can I work? How often can I work them? Workstations once per band, per mode, per county. That's a lot. That means that I can contact one guy. Well, there's what, 3, 6, 10 different bands on here, and I could do him CW, sideband, and digital, and each one. That's a lot of points. And then it tells you how points are scored. When you do a logging program, they will do the scores for you. Don't worry about if you don't have to learn how to do the math to score things. It's all done by the programs for you. And then of course there's where to find the rules at. And I don't have it circled, but above that it shows you where to submit your log to if you're going to be doing a log. A lot of these things are basically a website you upload a file to, and then you're good to go. You're done. So the Maryland QSO party here, you have to contact different counties, much like I'm sure you do down in Florida as well. I think every state QSO party really is individual counties. And there are county abbreviations. I found these on the rules of the Maryland QSO parties. It always pays to look into the rules. And I think here, all right, so I got a example of a contest exchange. I need to do a couple things. I need to share my computer audio. All right. And I'm going to hopefully this plays for you. It's about a minute and then we're done. Well, we're done with this part. Here we go. So this weekend is the Maryland QSO party, the weekend that I'm recording this, not necessarily when the expo is. And I am tuning around the bands, and I do hear a station calling CQ contest for the Maryland QSO party. So I'd like to show you guys what a typical exchange would be like, so you know. So let's go ahead, turn up our volumes. We'll hear what we hear.
Okay, and that means you're a standard station in North Carolina, okay?
So let me get his call, and I'll call out then.
Okay, thanks very much for calling in. This is Whiskey 3 India Delta Tango, Maryland QSO party.
Whiskey 3 Alpha Victor Papa.
With the Whiskey 3?
Whiskey 3 Alpha Victor Papa.
Alpha Victor Papa. I'm a standard station in Montgomery County, Mike Oscar November.
Thank you. I'm also a standard station over here in Pennsylvania, Papa Alpha.
Papa Alpha, thank you. Other station?
And that's all there is to it. All right, hopefully you guys heard that. Let me unshare my screen here. Maybe it's fine. All right. Okay, moving on. So there are some stations, some areas you cannot make contacts on. Those are the WARC bands. Back in '79, before I was born, the Worldwide Administrative Radio Conference, or WARC, occurred. A bunch of dudes got together and made a gentleman's agreement, not a law or a rule, but states that no contesting shall take place on 30 meters, 17 meters, 12 meters. And also, let's go ahead and throw 60 meters in there as well. That was not around in '79, but contests do not accept 60-meter QSOs. So if you want to get away from all the contesting and you want to hide out somewhere safe, any of the WARC bands will work well for you. In fact, 17 meters has been very active, and so is 12 recently. 17 acts a lot like 20 meters, so you'll get some pretty good DX on there during the daytime. Let's talk a little bit about logging. Hopefully it's not a big disaster like this guy here driving his big rig. It doesn't have to be. It can sound a bit daunting, but really the software is there to help you. So there's lots of software available out there. A file in Cabrillo format is required when submitting a log in a contest. The ADIF files that you might use for Logbook of the World or QRZ.com, those are not the kind of file that is accepted. It's going to be a Cabrillo one. And the nice part is that all of the logging software by design makes these files for you, so you don't have to worry about it. In fact, they do both normally. You can get an ADIF file for Logbook of the World and a .log file for your contest. We talked about that. All contesting software has the ability to make a Cabrillo file, or else it really wouldn't be contesting software, would it? So I am not a ham radio YouTuber. However, I did make we're not going to watch it here, but I made an installation video starting from scratch on how to install N1MM Plus logging software, get it up and running and ready for a contest. You can go to either my club's website, whiskey3romeo.org, click on presentations, or if you go to YouTube and type in my call sign plus N1MM Plus, you should be able to find it there. It's about 45 minutes. I guarantee you I talk a lot slower. I have it all bookmarked out for you, and it's from the point of view of a brand new install from start to finish. Okay. So what's a dupe? You might encounter the term dupe when you're contesting. Somebody might tell you that you're a dupe. Don't take it personally. All it means is that you're a duplicate. Dupes or duplicate contacts are not worth any points, and in some contests, it's very rare, can actually detract from your score. I did mention it is okay to contact some people multiple times, and that's of course if the rules allow it. A dupe is only a dupe if the contest rules prevent you from working a station multiple times in the same way. So we can see here on the screen, I was going to work this guy in Serbia, Yankee Uniform 1, Triple Alpha, and I typed in his name, and apparently I already worked him. Now, apparently I already worked him specifically on 40-meter CW. It's quite possible the contest allowed me to work him on 20 meters as well, or maybe on sideband, which would have been just fine if I was doing that on 40 meters, but this is a dupe. And the software lets me know that, hey, this probably isn't going to be a valid contact for you. Remember, the part of that contesting website showed me that, for example, this contest, I could work stations once per band, that's it. So if I work this guy in Serbia on 40 meters, it doesn't matter what mode it is, it's one time only, and that's it. That's why, and the contesting software knows this. So it said, hey, watch out, buddy. Maybe you want to go a little bit deeper into this. There are ways to do it. So what's a good contest to start with? any of them that you're qualified to participate in. There really isn't a bad one out there. If it's something, if you have the hardware, if you have the bands for it, you know, go ahead and try it. There's no harm. State CUSA parties seem to be the easiest. They're more laid back. People are, if I say more friendly, I'm not trying to imply that people are not friendly for the other ones. But these are, you heard that guy from the Maryland one, he said to the one station, oh, that makes you a standard station. So the contest rules for Maryland's CUSA party, your station is in a class of its own based on, I think it's how many watts you're running and where you're located. If you're at a park, it's a public station, stuff kind of, I don't know, stuff like that. So whoever he was talking to initially, when I turned up the volume, didn't really know what his exchange was, which is okay because this Maryland guy was super nice and he helped them find out. I can tell you from experience, the Pennsylvania CUSA party, for some reason, they want to know what ARRL section you're in, and not everybody knows that. So a lot of time we spend from the PA CUSA party is helping people figure out what section they're in. And we're happy to do it because, you know, let's all be friendly here. Are there states you seem to always be able to hit consistently? That might be a good one to start with for CUSA party. Here in PA, I seem to have a solid pipeline to Ohio for some reason on 40 meters, like nonstop. So that's one that I seem to do well in because I can hit, like, I don't know, all of Ohio apparently. I'm not sure who down there in Florida, you guys might have some pretty good pipelines too, maybe Texas or Illinois. That might be a good one to start out with for you. Sprints could also be kind of fun. Like I said before, they're about an hour long, maybe 2 hours. They happen weekly. You could see on that one slide, the little small slivers of blue. Those are the little sprints. And the same ones seem to happen weekly or so. There's a worldwide sideband activity contest every Monday night. And I think it's like 9 p.m. local time here-ish or so. And it's just very laid back kind of thing. Make some sideband contacts and move on. That might be something very good to get started in. Yeah, there's a Russian one this weekend. Sorry about that. When I recorded this, there was a Russian contest that was happening the next weekend. So I also mentioned that your score is usually compared to a small region. We saw that, yeah, I came in number 960 in the world, but I was number 9 in my call district. So don't be afraid to kind of compete a little bit. I have a couple slides here that talk about some tips and tricks, things that didn't need their own slide. They're kind of a hodgepodge of things, but I think they're important to know here. Submit your own personal logs as normal. If you make a contesting log, you got 20 contacts in it, I got 100 contacts in it. If you submit it to the contest folks, great. But also submit it to Logbook of the World, QRZ, send QSL cards if you're into that. I certainly am. I can tell you, I sent one to that 3 Bravo 8 mic right away, and I got one back. I was super happy with that. Many stations do the same. In fact, it is the exception that they do not upload their logs normally. It's very rare. Some bands are busier than others. 20 meters is packed, 40 meters is packed, 20 during the day, 40 at night, solid wall to wall. However, 15 and 10 are great alternatives. If you're a technician, 10 meters is great right now. And there's lots of contesting activity on 10 meters, especially with South America. They seem to love 10 meters down there. Brazil will be all over you on 10 meters. If you're a smaller station, think about waiting until day 2 or near the end of a contest before getting involved. And I only say that because a lot of the big gun stations will still want your contacts, but other stations may be done participating. And that kind of lowers the playing field. It thins out the herd a little bit, and you'll be heard better. I try not to contest the first 6 or 7 hours. Usually, if it's like a Friday night, is when they start, because it's 000 UTC. So it's so busy on a Friday night, it's just not worth it. I get frustrated. So I wait till Saturday, and it just seems to work a lot better for me. When contesting, everyone's a 5.9 or 5NN or ENN if you're into CW cut numbers. I appreciate a good signal report, an honest one, so I know if there's a problem with my station. However, in contesting time, everyone's 5.99. It would take you 20 tries to get the guy's call sign, you're 5.9. Yeah, I know. If you're not familiar with these cut numbers, it's a way to shorthand numbers in CW. And they do so by using letters to represent certain numbers. I didn't know this when I first started, and I was thinking, who the heck is putting letters in with the numbers here? It's just algebra class. And I Googled it up. So cut numbers is what you want to look up, so you kind of know what to expect. You don't have to use them. 5NN is very, very common even outside of contests. So maybe just be, kind of familiarize yourself with that. Some of the bigger contests, your numbers can be in the thousands, and people will use A for 1 and all kinds of goofy stuff. So T for 0, but don't get confused. If you forget the serial number or the exchange that someone just gave you, now I don't mean didn't get it, I mean forgot it. Wait and listen for the next QSO and subtract 1 serial number. Okay, I do that sometimes. I'll be flustered. I'll totally get the exchange. I'll type in the call sign and I'll forget what number he gave me. Maybe I'll forget the last number of it. This is totally on the honor system. If you didn't get it, if you totally missed it, ask them for it because they want to give you the number, because if you goof it up, they don't get points either. But if you totally just forget it, listen for the next one, subtract a number from it. Or it doesn't hurt to listen for a little bit because you should be listening anyway. Listen for a little bit, and when you make your contact, you should know what number to expect. That's also important too. Check for a novice category. Some contests have a novice category for folks that are first-time contesters for that specific event, and you may be able to compare yourself against a smaller group just for that contest. Watch for dupes as the contest comes to a close. I guarantee you hear a booming station on Sunday afternoon, and you're like, oh yes, points. I guarantee you probably worked them almost a day and a half ago. That's why he's loud. That's why you worked them already. So just watch out for dupes. Some more tips and tricks here. You don't need a QRP rig to run a QRP contest. Just dial back your power. A lot of contests have different categories. We saw the low power is me, I'm 100 watts. There's a 10 watts or 5 watts as a QRP category, and you're competing only against other QRP people. So go ahead, have fun, turn back your power and run QRP. If you're going to be repeating your call sign often to break a pile up or sending it in CW, take time to learn the voice memory functions of your radio. It's not cheating to save your breath. It's not your voice, not cheating to save your fingers. Record your call sign. It's okay to do that. A lot of people use fully automated computer CW for contests. I don't personally. I do use manual. I think it's a great exercise. I know others get frustrated because I'm not rock solid, but I think it really builds your skill that way. Nothing wrong with doing automated though. Please don't think I'm saying that. Also keep in mind there's a big difference between someone calling CQ Maryland QSO party and CQ Maryland. So the first guy is a person in Maryland who's participating in the party calling CQ QSO party. The other guy calling CQ Maryland is in Pennsylvania who wants to contact only folks from Maryland. So just be careful who you're responding to, that you're not giving 0 points to the guy in New York who's calling for Maryland when you think that he's in Maryland calling for anybody outside of it. It may not benefit you to call CQ contest unless you're a big gun station or if the focus is on you specifically. I say that because somebody with 1,000 watts is going to get much more attention and be able to hold that frequency much better than somebody with 100 watts. It's very rare that I call CQ contest because I get no results at all, unless I'm in my own QSO party. VHF, UHF contest may be different. Everyone seems to be kind of level on there. There's a lot less people doing it. So calling CQ contest on those kind of contests may yield some great results for you. Get a feel for how friendly the contest is. We heard how friendly the Maryland guy was. He was helping out that one station to figure out what his section was or his category. Some people may not be the most friendly, and I say that because they don't want extra words in the exchange. Please copy my number 3. No, they just want number 3, or you're my number 12. Just say number 12. I've seen some posts online, people getting a little bit cranky about that. Yeah, just get a feel for it. The state QSO parties are super friendly. All of them are. Why not do some double dipping? You see I had the POTA logo up here. There's absolutely no reason why you cannot activate a POTA park and work a contest at the same time. We know that POTA is not a contest. However, you can certainly operate one while you're there. So that way you can get points for the POTA activation and points for the contest. And I guarantee you'll get more people contacting you in general because you're already at the park. So this is very popular during state QSO parties. People will set up at the local park here that we have not far from me. And the dude will rack up a ton of contacts because he's already doing a POTA thing, and then he's also doing the contest. So within the contest, there are some fun activities that you can do on top of that. And we're going to touch on 2 of these, and then we'll take some questions and answers here. The first one is, I believe that the Kansas QSO party is one of the coolest things out there. What they do is they have, where is it here? There we go. They have a whole bunch of 1x1 special event stations that they use to spell words out. You take the last letter of the call sign and spell words. The word Kansas, sunflower, yellow brick road, and QSO party. So here's a little list here. This just shows what they have to make the word Kansas. They have K0 is K, N, and W0. And then they have the last letters. So they have K, A, N, S. So I would need to make one QSO with any of the Ks, two from any of the A's, one N and two S's. And if I do that, then I spell Kansas. And I can double dip and use the S from Kansas to spell the S in sunflower, and likewise anything else down the road there. And then after you make these words, the dude then Bill or Bob rather will send you this certificate in the mail, and then for every word that you spell each year, he sends you a stamp that you can then use to complete the certificate from year to year. So here's mine here. It's hard to see at this picture. I've got two of them on there. I think now I need one more stamp. And I've got this one completed, and then he'll send me a new certificate. So I think it's the coolest thing. It's a lot of fun to have a goal to work towards in this. I don't care about my score during this QSO party. I care about making the context for the 1x1s. I want the stamps. They're kind of nifty. How about this too? We can also chase a rover. A rover is a station that moves during their contest to maximize multipliers. The state QSO parties, it's, you can take your score and then multiply it by the number of different counties that you contact. So some people will drive from county to county, operate in their vehicles, or they'll set up shop outside their vehicle, make a few contacts, and move on to a new county. It's called a rover. Very common during QSO parties and also the VHF, UHF contests, where geographic location makes a difference. They move to a whole new county or even a whole new grid square, depending on what the contest wants. This guy would not be a duplicate then, because you're working him in a new multiplier. He's now in a new county, and the contesting software should know that. It won't give you grief until you try to put all the info in the same as last time. It's very common to find pre-posted routes with very specific times for some of these more robust rovers, and I'll show you a couple here in a minute. So here's Alpha Delta 4 Echo Bravo 84 EB Jim. Jim, where is he? There he is. He's sitting there in his minivan. He's got his Icon radio. He's got his laptop there. I see some hardware, some cables, and he's got a big old smile on his face. There's his point of view up to the front. There's his wife, who's also a ham. I forgot her call sign. I'm sorry. And she's up there driving. And there's a picture, I believe, at the top of his car, all kinds of antennas up there. And she will drive nonstop the whole weekend. I would hope they stop for bathroom breaks, but you never know. And let Jim operate in the back. In fact, here is her itinerary down to the minute, what county she'll be in and where they're stopping for how long. So you know exactly where to go here. What he'll do too, and you can't quite see it on this map, but she will stop on all the county lines and then give you two counties at once if you make contact with them. I've seen it before. This is Illinois or Illinois maybe. He was in Texas the one time, and their counties are a bit more grid-like, and he stopped on many four-way splits and would operate four counties at one time. He was highly sought after. He gave a ton of points out. He was a lot of fun to kind of make contact with Jim when he went on this route. This kind of assistance is not cheating. There is a category called assisted versus unassisted when you do contesting, and I think that's talked about in that video I mentioned. But since he's not listing his frequency here, you still have to have the finesse to find that. He's typically in the same parts of the band, but still, this is kind of fun to do out there. That's all I got for you regarding this. I'm happy to answer any questions at all, comments. My email is always open, w3avp@arrl.net. Send me an email if you have questions. If you have a contest coming up and you want to know what to do about it, let me know. If you work the contest and have a log, have no clue what to do, send me an email. We will figure it out. So I think I see a gent with the microphone there. Let me know what I can do. If anyone has any questions, yeah, please.
You have any questions? We'll bring a microphone closest to you. All right, hold on.
Hey, why is there no Alaska QSO party?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure if it's because there's sheer lower number of amateurs there, but if you think about it, wouldn't Hawaii kind of have the same issue? That's a good question. When I needed to get worked all states, I had to actually I was trying to schedule a QSO, somebody, a SCED, if you will, to make it happen. And just by chance, I was doing a Parks on the Air activation, and some guy called into me from Alaska. I was floored. I was thrilled. My wife was like, "Oh, hey, don't you need that one?" And I sure did. Why is there not one? I don't know, but I kind of wish they would. I'm sure they would get a lot of attention.
Any other questions? We got microphones on both sides of the room, so if you do, just raise your hand so we can bring it to you. No other questions? It's a great presentation, but there's not a lot of questions, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I have, if you guys need more presentations, I have some other things available. We can talk about how to get into satellites for $5. We can do all kinds of stuff. So I'm happy to be asked to come here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
All right. Did everybody get a yellow ticket? Did everybody get a ticket? We're going to start drawing tickets real quick. Before we do that, I just want to mention next month's meeting is Wednesday, June the 7th. Make sure I have the right date. 7:30 here at the fairgrounds. Our guest speaker will be previous or past ARL director Ria Jerome. I'm not saying her last name right, and I apologize. We'll just call it Ria, or call her Ria. N2RJ. She's going to do a presentation on Beyond the Gas Generator, backup power strategy for amateur radio in the 21st century. So if you have a looking for backup power options, it might be a really good presentation for you to see. So all the presentations we always do are being recorded on Zoom currently, and will be uploaded to our OARC YouTube channel, so you can watch them anytime. This one should be uploaded tomorrow at some point. I don't want to say it'll be up there by noontime, because maybe I don't want to get up out of bed until 11 o'clock. I don't know. So, all right, ready for the first one. Again, as always, your choice on what you get. If you do decide to take one of the kits, don't forget the assembly instructions. I will put one underneath each kit. The kits are FM radio kit assembly. These are the ones that we did with Joe, actually not this year, but last year at Hamcation. This is the last of them, I promise. But we have more of this from this year of a different kit that we're going to give out. So, all right, first number 6, 7, 4, 5. 6, 7. I'm sorry. 6, 7, 4, 5. 6, 7, 4, 5. Come on up, Jim. Your choice. Go ahead and pull the next one.
6, 7, 5, 1.
6, 7, 5, 1. John. Yeah, those are the kits. They're all the same ones. There's there's just 4 of them left. Ooh. Ah, you can just leave right there on the table. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you, sir. There we go. Congratulations, Grayson. 6, 7, 4, 6. HF Digital.
Okay, here's a lower one. 6, 7, 2, 1.
Brick. Good microphone.
Disqualified.
All right, next.
7, 5, 7.
6, 7, 5, 7. Jim Robar. Come on down. Need a hat? God, I thought the Yezus would go first. Just toss it on the table. There you go.
6, 7, 3, 5.
6, 7, 3, 9. 6, 7, 3, 9. Going once. Going twice. Ah, there you are. Just toss it on the table. That's fine. There you go. HF Digital. 6764. Nick. Is it going to be a family project? Thank you, sir. 6763. Don't worry, we have more LDG electronic hats and Yezu hats. So we'll probably be at the picnic. So there are more options. There you go. Your choice between a hat or a kit. Yeah. There you go. Six, 730. Come on down. You got a kit. A kit. KIT. Radio kit. All right. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you. We hope to see you next weekend at the picnic. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday.